running a taxi business without owning a taxi? What if you can run a storage business without owning storage? And that's exactly what this is about. If you can move 5% with only the fridges, if you could move those through digitalization with help of blockchain, Internet of Things, etc., away from the peak, then you run massive storage without owning a single storage device.
By November that same year, we were down to 1.77 cents for onshore wind. This year we hit a new record in the US, 2.155 cents for solar, and last year in certain parts of the world it became cheaper to build and operate a new solar plant than it was to maintain an existing coal plant. Think about that for a second. Cheaper to build and operate new than maintain existing. All of the sunk cost arguments go completely out the window. And all of a sudden, the right thing to do for the planet aligns with the right thing to do for our bottom lines. And these trends and trajectories is why we are now seeing even the Kentucky Coal Museum has switched to solar.
But I think one thing we must all bear in mind is that we don't start with a blank sheet of paper.
What we often do when we talk about the culture of innovation with Amazon is we don't tend to look at crystal ball gazing and looking into the future. And it sounds unusual, so how do you innovate? How do you actually do that if you're not trying to look around corners and into the future? What we tend to do instead is really look at what are the truisms, the things that are never going to change for your customers.
24/7 may not be the answer anymore, but what you can switch off and for how long may actually be the question. Buying and selling energy will become an important new business unit of every major manufacturer and industrial.
These increasingly decentralized systems will require a market redesign.
Why is there so much talk about aviation emissions? One of the reasons is that people don't know how much there is CO2 coming from engines and how do they have an impact on climate change. This is a black box to very many people, even those who work inside the aviation field.
Cora is one of the world's first semi-autonomous, all-electric aircraft. And we are planning to test, certify and go to market in New Zealand. It sounds like science fiction, but it's real.
It's not actually A, B or C. The answer is D, all of the above. Yeah? If we want to bring carbon neutrality to our transport fuel sector, we need all options. We need EVs, we need biofuels, we need hydrogen. Yeah? It's not one or the other, we need them.
There are 1.2 billion cars in the world today and over 130 million motorcycles. And all of those vehicles, they are sitting there idle 95% of the time, sitting in parking lots. And what that means is in some cities, up to a fifth of the land in those cities is wasted on parking lots. Not parks or schools or homes, but just parking lots full of idle vehicles sitting there unattended. And all of these vehicles in combination, they take up 50% of our global oil supply.